Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Growth Switch with me, Cyril. This being our latest episode in the series. If you've missed out on any insights from the other episodes, remember you can check those out on our YouTube channel, or you can also go to my personal website, cyrilmadiba.com, and you can find the insights there. Remember, we've got everything for everyone, regardless of your journey and where you are on that path. You're sure to find something that can assist you grow as you journey towards achieving your objectives. In this episode, we'll be talking about maintaining a balance in your life, which is quite critical actually, because you find people who are either all work or all play, and there's not really a balance across different aspects of their lives, right? Um, I mean, if you were to define for yourself, like the different parts of your life, you have your work life, which you can either be fully employed, or you can be a consultant, or you can have your own business. So it's basically whatever you do to make a living and to um, basically make an income for you that allows you to buy all your essentials and the likes. And then you have your personal life, which will involve your family, your friends. It might also involve other activities you do in your personal capacity at church, and other aspects that you might be busy with. So it's quite important to maintain a balance across all those aspects. So you make sure that you're giving each one the necessary attention that it deserves, right? Now, the balance is one that you need to define yourself, right? If a balance for you means you're spending 50% of your time on income generating stuff and 50% of the time on the other personal stuff, then that's for you. For some people, it might mean that they spend 70% on income generating work and 30% on the rest. So each person needs to define for themselves what that ratio is, or that split is, in terms of the balance that you want to see in your life. No one can define it for you. You need to define it yourself, right? Okay. Now, wherever you're seeing an imbalance in this aspect, you need to identify where the imbalance is. Is it in your work life, or is it in your personal life, right? So you can be able to know how you need to address this, right? Um, and you need to also manage your schedule such that you've got enough time for everything, right? Like I said earlier, you define for yourself what enough time is. So my definition of what enough time is can't be the same as yours, can't be the same as another person as well. All right, so you need to define for yourself what does enough time mean, for some people, the definition is such that they need to provide for their family, the main breadwinner, and if they don't work, literally the whole family goes hungry. And you find that their job demands them to be working 7 days a week for 12 hours. So you might so then you can see there that the ratio for that person could be different for a ratio for someone who, for example, has a job or a business that they run only for 5 days and probably for about 8 hours a day. Then they have a weekend to spend on other personal activities. They have after hours to spend on other activities. So it depends on each person's circumstances, really, and you need to define for yourself what that means in terms of the balance, so you can make sure that you are attending to all aspects of your life, right? Now you need to practice work-life integration techniques. So people always go on about work-life balance and the likes. I'm sure you've heard about this term before, but essentially um, work-life balance essentially assumes that when you leave work, you're leaving it there and you're going home to live your home life. And what we found is, um, I mean, quite a fair amount of time, it doesn't happen that way, right? It's more like you are integrating the two into one, right? So if you think about it, if you, let's say, have a child and you need to drop off your child in the morning at school, then you need to pick them up in the afternoon, right? Now you need to be able to make such arrangements with your employer or in your business capacity, that any activities in the morning, let's say perhaps you drop them off around 8ish, that you can't have a meeting that starts say at 8, because on at 8 you're probably on the road going to work after you've dropped them off. and in the afternoon when you're picking them up, you can't have anything happening there that's work related. But that type of activity requires you to communicate that to your employer and to make sure that the two, your work and what you need to do personally, picking up your child, work in sync. So that's why it's called work-life integration, because it needs to work together. So in any given day, you can't really say, okay, 8 hours I'm at work, and then suddenly that other time I'm doing my personal stuff, because now you need to be able to integrate the two, and the two need to work seamlessly. So if it means in the afternoon you're picking up your child, you get home, you do what you need to get them settled, and then you then work on your deliverables that I've done till another time to make up for that time, then so be it, right? So that's why I say work-life integration techniques, and these techniques are all in your hands, right? So your employer doesn't know that you need to pick up your child and drop them off and so on and so forth. You know that. Your employer doesn't know that, for example, you've got a sick relative that you need to go and see, and the visiting hours are only from 12 to 1, and that's middle of the day. You know that. So at times what people do is they basically are scared to speak to their employers and business people about this, so that basically they can work around that. Because there's some personal aspects which are quite important, and you want to do them yourself. You can't leave them to anyone else. So it's important that you speak to the people that you work with, that they understand this, right? Okay. And like I just said, don't be discussed to don't be scared to discuss your balancing needs, right? Like I said, now people tend to be scared about it. The worst that can happen is what, right? So you go to your employer or whoever you work with, business people, and you say to them, listen, I have a sick relative, sick visiting hours are only from 12 to 1. I need to go and see them, right? If they're really an evil person, I think they're going to say no. Um, and what you'll find that, they'll actually say, oh, no, go, go and see the person. But at times people are scared to ask, because already in their minds, they're assuming that the answer will be no. Remember, if you don't ask, the answer is always no if you don't ask. But if you do, you can get a yes, right? Okay. Now, as a final thought, like I said earlier, only you can determine what the balance is, right? You know what's going on in your personal life. You know what else you need to be doing in your personal life, right? I've made some examples here, but the kids you need to pick up, a sick relative. This could happen for anything, right? you know Anything that you do in the personal life that unfortunately happens during work hours, that you just need some time to go and take care of, and then you basically make up the time at a later point of the day or a later point during that week, or whatever arrangement you arrive at your employer. Don't be scared to say such things. At times we focus on work, and then we neglect our personal life commitments. And then down the line, we actually realize, oh no, I wasn't there for this, I wasn't there for that, I wasn't there for that. And it's purely because we were scared to ask to go for such things. And because we were scared to ask, by default, the answer was no. Whereas if we had asked, the employer could have probably said, yes, you can go, but we can make arrangements of how you make up that time. You know, so yeah, it's key to maintain a balance. And another thing to mention as well, this also applies to if you need to take time off, right? If you find that you're now so overwhelmed, you're tired, you're mentally tired, you're physically tired, you just need to take time off, switch off from your work, and just not look at anything work related. That's important. Something I used to take lightly early on in my career, but as I've progressed, I've learned that it's quite important. You'll be amazed what a day, even a day or two, can do. A day or two of you not having to deal with emails or colleagues, or having to deal with the demands and stresses of your work, can make a great deal for you, in terms of your mental health and your mental stability, if I can put it like that, because sometimes our workplaces can drive us nuts. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share in this video. And if you find it useful, please share it with those who stand to benefit the most. And remember, we're on social media: LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. You can follow us there, where we share some um, pearls of wisdom in between these YouTube videos. And you can also check out my personal website, cyrilmatibat.com, for some updates on what else I'm up to. And remember, the balance in your life is in your hands, right? No one else can do that. You know what's going on with your life. You know what you want to achieve. Therefore, take the necessary control of your life and maintain the required balance as defined by you. And yeah, let's grow together.